Hey everybody, Alex Kozora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some more Pittsburgh Steelers tape breakdown and analysis. The entire Steelers rookie class made the initial 53-man roster, although quarterback Will Howard and cornerback Dante Kent went to IR soon after. But 7th round pick Carson Bruner beat out veteran Mark Robinson for the job. Let's talk about how he did it. Before we start, if you guys could like this video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the site, SteelersDepot.com. Would really appreciate that. In 2 words to explain how Carson Bruner made the 53-man roster: special teams. That's what he did at Washington throughout most of his career, and that's what he showed in Pittsburgh. And it's so appropriate. Opening kickoff, he is L4 on this kick coverage play that Bruner made the first tackle on the first play of the Steelers' 2025 preseason. You see him work off the block here and make this tackle, and we're going to see a lot more kick returns this year. NFL really encouraging that because they've now made touchbacks, in most cases, brought out to the 35-yard line. And with modern-day offenses, you don't want to start the opposition on the 35, so they're going to really influence and create more returns, and so that's going to make the coverage unit a lot more important. So Bruner working on 45 here. Sheds the block, just like old school 2-gapping, like a defensive lineman. You know, get your arms extended, get some space, head across, key the ball, shed, and make the play. These are treated like run plays now under this dynamic kickoff format. Seeing Bruner key the ball, watch where the return is going, inside lane, outside lane, goes outside lane, shed, make a good tackle. No tackle here, but just a quick note. Carson Bruner, multi-phase special teamer. To be a good special teamer, you can't just play on one unit. You have to have hats on multiple of them to create value, to carry you on the roster, both the active and active 53 in the game day roster. And here is Bruner as the left wing on the punt team. His 64 special team snaps this preseason, led the entire Steelers team. Nothing to note really on this play, just containing the outside, forcing this one back in. But just to highlight, we're going to see this guy on a bunch of phases throughout this video, and maybe even some I won't end up showing any clips of. But more you can do, the better. More units you can play on, the better. Another unit to look at here, the punt return or punt rush team. We're going to see Carson Bruner line up, and it's not about the rush. He's right here, but it's about the blocking. And it's just so hard to do, to block well on the punt return or punt rush team without getting a penalty or holding a block in the back, something like that. But we see Bruner do a nice job that leads to a really good return by rookie Keyshawn Williams. Now, and there was a penalty on this play, it was not on Bruner, but just watching him be able to use leverage, use angles, help create that lane for Williams. We're going to see Bruner right here identify his man, get his hips around, block to the outside initially, and then whenever he gets swims back inside, you're still seeing Bruner fight, leverage, seal that guy off, and that creates a lane for Williams, again brought back on the penalty. But we're really seeing Bruner work really hard here. It's all about leverage. These returns are about leverage, inside leverage, outside leverage. Do you have it? Do you not? Can you create the seal? Can you disrupt the seal that maybe the opposing team is trying to prevent you from hitting? So nice job by Bruner here overall. Nice job by Trey Sermon too, as he made the practice squad. Later in this Jacksonville game, Bruner still L4 on kick coverage, and we're going to see him make another tackle. By my charting, he had 5 total tackles on special teams alone this preseason, 3 of them solo. We're going to see him swim, beat the block, and get in on the tackle. And so you're going to see Bruner get a hat on game day. There he is, swimming the block right here, and then diving at the ankles, helping to make the stop. And take a look at it from the aerial view as well. Second year of this dynamic kickoff model, and you're going to see some differences here. You're going to see more returns by NFL rules. You're going to see defensive linemen occasionally get work here. We saw DeMarvin Leal, Isaiah Loudermilk get work here on kick coverage. It's a different feel overall, but we're watching Bruner come in and make the tackle. One last look at it. Again, he is L4 right there. I know it's blurry. And as soon as that guy catches the ball, or the ball hits the ground, you can move. So you're seeing him get off the block, make the tackle right there. And it's out to about the 33, but touchbacks at the 35. So that is a technical win for the Steelers. Bruner really active in this preseason opener against Jacksonville, still at L4. We're going to see him dip the block this time and then come in to get the assist on the tackle. And it's really good coverage here by Pittsburgh, putting this one inside the 25-yard line. So it's a team effort. Obviously, it's not just Bruner, but we're seeing him dip that block, and Sermon goes low, and Carson Bruner goes high, and they get the stop. So one last look from this view, then we'll look at the aerial view. This time, returner's going away, Bruner winning wide, and then turning that corner, flattening like a pass rusher, downhill, making the stop. And you really like to see this right here, putting this one inside the 25. That is excellent field position. You're saving yourself over 10 yards from where a touchback would be. So Bruner dipping that block, getting in, making the tackle. A more minor point, but just to show more from Carson Bruner, this time we're looking at the kick return unit for Pittsburgh, and Bruner is aligned on this front line right here, and we're just watching the blocking. It's not going to impact the play. It's not going to have an influence on the outcome, but anyone who can block and stick in these moments, stuff to do, obviously, while playing clean, too. Really, really important. We're seeing Bruner stick and drive his feet the whole way. Maybe a little too grabby at the very end, so maybe one coaching point there. You got to know when to let that one go, but I think it's an overall a good rep, as Caleb Johnson, I think, was on the return on this play. So minor point, but just watching Bruner be able to work in all these phases, not just coverage, but also blocking. I really like this rep from Bruner, and it might not be obvious, and some may disagree, and feel free, but we're getting a punt rush team, safe return, setting up for the block here. Here is Bruner blocking 84 Tampa Bay, and he just keeps leverage the whole way. Again, this is all a leverage game in the return game, keeping him wide, creates the lane for Williams to cut up. Now, Williams does run into Bruner. I put that more on the returner. Returner has to be able to navigate and get around these guys. It's too hard for the rush or the blockers like Bruner to be able to block and also worry about where the returner is at. If you had a better cut from Williams, maybe he could have avoided that better. So, some may say, oh, Bruner got in the way here, and he did technically, but I think he's doing a good job here keeping leverage, staying clean, creating this lane for Williams. And, I know if Bruner's not there, there's a lane, but I think it's an overall good job by Bruner. Just unfortunate the way the returner's path ended up being. I don't know if anyone's really to blame here. It's just one of those kind of messy things. But I think Bruner did a good job overall. Maybe he could have run through this more, but he's trying to avoid the block in the back too. I think it's a good job. People may disagree, but I think he does a good job being able to maintain leverage and hold blocks and help create these lanes and these seals. We're seeing that throughout this video, and that's going to be attractive for the punt return team. This is my favorite rep of Carson Bruner this preseason. This time he's going to be aligned as the right guard. We saw him at left wing in an earlier example. Now he is the right guard on the punt coverage team. High snap from new snapper Jake McQuaid. Fortunately, Christian Kuntz will be healthy week 1. But a great job here by Bruner to contain. First thing you got to do is do your job. Contain, have leverage, maintain it. Don't get out of your gap. That is mission number 1. If the entire unit stays in their gap and you tackle well, you're going to be aces 9 times out of 10. So Bruner, leverage here, forcing this back inside to your help. That is step 1. But then step 2, go make the play. And you see Bruner close, great closing speed, and makes this tackle on the returner. Again, 5 special teams tackles, 3 solos. This is one of them. It's a great job here to close. Returner stumbles, but take advantage of that and go make the play. So A, do your job. Maintain gap integrity, lane integrity, force him back inside, and then go make the play. Other guys might have overrun this one. Not really sure what happened there. Not focusing on that too much, but really nice job by Bruner here. This is a high quality rep to make this play. So we'll take a look at it from the aerial view. Bruner's down here, right guard. Take one last look at it. Yeah, not a great snap there from McQuaid. But we're watching Bruner right here. Leverage, force it back inside. And then go make the play, go make the tackle. Bruner does. Last example against Carolina. Again, Carson Bruner, L4 right here. Going to make a tackle. One of many he had, probably an assist. He gets credited on this play. Dipping the block. Him and Sawyer in on the stop. Bruner was all around the ball on special teams. And that's, of course, what Pittsburgh is looking for. So dip the block, ripping through it, just like a pass rusher. Very similar traits here, guys who can work their hands, guys who are flexible, really, really important. There were combinations of run blocking and pass rushing elements on these plays, and you're really seeing a great job here by Bruner. Dip this block, and then, it's an awkward position to make that tackle. There's some leverage here, but do whatever you got to do to make that stop. He does. Sawyer getting in on the stop as well. Sawyer played a ton of special team snaps, a ton of snaps in general, so I thought he had a good preseason, even if The stats weren't super gaudy. No sacks, had some people concerned. I thought he had a good summer overall. Take a quick look at Sawyer, too. Again, pass rusher mentality, dipping through, making the play, flattening. It's a nice job by the return or by the coverage unit. And another stop well inside the 25, nearly at the 20. That's big chunks of yardage you're saving. And that's going to be really important here because you can't have touchbacks this year. At the 35-yard line, you're facing Joe Burrow and the Bengals. You're going to give them the ball at the 35, Lamar and the Ravens at the 35. Come on. I mean, you're giving them points right there. So you better be able to cover, especially in the winter when naturally it's going to be a lot of returns because it's hard to get flight and distance on the ball. You need guys who can cover. Carson Bruner showed it at Washington, showing it in Pittsburgh. Dude can cover. So, nice summer for Bruner. I thought defensively he was pretty weak. I thought his eyes weren't good. Athleticism limited. But, man, on special teams, fourth down, kickoffs, this guy comes alive. That's where he made his money through his first 3 years at Washington. Even played on special teams his final year. We also started defensively and showed it big time with the Steelers. That is why he's on the roster and why there's a really good chance he's going to dress and play on game day starting September 7th against the New York Jets for the Week 1 opener. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you guys watching. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, check out the site SteelersDepot.com. Thank you again, and we'll talk to you soon.